What's going on? I'm with Nick Lunn from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to Reflection Friday. Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's going on, Brett?
Not much, man. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yep, absolutely. I'm here. Glad to be on the call today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to ask you two questions and just kind of tell me your story. Number one, the first question we always ask investors is, what were you doing before real estate investing? Kind
Sure.
of tell me about how you got involved.
Yeah, no problem. So, what I was doing before real estate investment was construction. So now construction is a pretty broad word because it's so much involved in construction. Most people say, "Hey, you're in investing now, oh, so construction should be easy for you." Well, yeah, so just a little side note. So I'm in civil construction where I build roads and bridges and that sort of thing. So it didn't really collide, so to speak. But nonetheless, I had the background and knowledge of being in the construction world. So I had other individuals or colleagues that I've worked with in the past that I can, refer to get, the right information in regards to investing in real estate. But my story simply starts out where I started out in construction, paving driveways and small concrete patchwork on sidewalks, stuff like that. And long story short, I actually land some really good contracts. I met a guy who he did some civil work before. I asked him to mentor me. He really encouraged me throughout the process, and that was always good, is to have a mentor, someone that's kind of coaching you along. Well, he did a really, really good job, and I was able to parlay my knowledge of that driveway experience and just kind of working in the civil arena into a larger contract, which it came with a lot of challenges, but I was able to do a whole lot of the work. So it really benefited me from the perspective of being a new business owner, starting up from nothing. As a matter of fact, I remember my wife asking her, "Hey, call your mom and ask if we can get maybe $500 so we can start this business." And she called her mom up and asked her mom, and her mom says, I'm absolutely not giving you anything to give to Nick for any type of business." And it was interesting because she gave her $2,500, and my wife said, "Okay, you can't tell her. I hope she's not listening, but you can't tell her I'm giving you this $2,500." So my wife did, and I went to a place where I saw two trucks that was for sale. One was a utility truck, which was kind of somewhat working, and the other was a 1-ton dump, and that was not working. So they would call me the man with a truck and a half. And that's kind of how I got started. I just really dived in on faith, and my wife supported me, and my mother-in-law did too, even though she didn't know it. Wink, wink.
That's
But,
awesome.
it kind of helped out a whole lot. And from there, with me in the construction world doing, now paving and patching and all that stuff, I was able to, really grow the company in that year to what most people would call a lot of money, but it wasn't a lot of money with the overhead that we had. Nonetheless, we landed a pretty good contract, which allowed me to really grow even further. Well, how I got into real estate, I lost that contract, not by anything I done, but by the cutback that they did in their own
Mm.
organization. Now, it was a larger municipality organization or company, and they just made cutbacks. And unfortunately, I was a part of that cutback. Well, I said to my wife, I said, "Listen, I will never allow someone else to have control of my destiny like that again, ever."
Mhm.
And so I said, "We got to do something different. What is it that we can do?" And that's how real estate kind of came into our life. And I look at it like this, I wanted to have something where if I slept, it's constantly working. It's not dependent upon me, but it's dependent upon that thing, whatever that thing was. For us, it's real estate. So that's kind of how we got into it and how we are here today.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
No, thanks for sharing. I appreciate your story. How long have you been in construction now? Civil construction?
Yeah, so I've been in civil construction for probably 26 years, not to tell my age, but 26, 27 years. So a long time.
Wow.
I started out Yeah, I came right out of high school. I did college and, summer jobs, and I did some side work for some of the local guys. And that's kind of how I got, you know, I guess my introduction to it. And
Mhm.
that's where it all started for me. I was making really good money, and I thought, wow, do I really need to go and finish a college, get a college degree, finish college? I said, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I do not have a degree. I don't have that. I didn't
What?
finish. No, I don't. But the good thing about it is someone said to me before, and I'm not saying this boastfully, but they said I is a millionaire. Where you don't you don't have
That's
to have
funny.
an education. I'm not knocking on education. I'm encouraging my kids to go to college because
Mhm.
what we're going to pass on, we want them to be able to, control it in a very educated way. But it didn't work that way for me, and yet here I am today.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good advice. That yeah, you don't have to have a formal education, and I call it more street smarts, right? There's difference between book smart, which I don't think I'm very book smart, and then there's street smarts. And a lot of that is just hustling and grinding. And I was talking to a guy the other day, and it's just figuring it out. It's like,
That's really
that
what.
was one of his famous sayings. Like he said, "Hey, whatever comes my way, even if I don't know how to do it, I'm like, I'll figure it out."
I
So,
heard somebody say something like, and I took it to heart. It said, "Build a plane while you're flying it." I'm like, "How in the world do you
yeah.
build a plane while you're flying it?" Well, that's what I have.
Definitely. That's cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, that kind of brings me up to the next question is so you got into real estate investing because you wanted to control your own destiny. You didn't want to have someone else just to kind of telling you what you can and can't do, and they can turn the faucet off at any time. And so that's why you got into real estate. So talk to me now. How has real estate kind of changed your life? And sometimes it's not always in finances. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's something different. So kind of talk to us about how it's changed your life.
Yeah, no, great question too. It really had a drastic impact on my life. Just business ownership in general, but to be specific, real estate itself. So two things. One, for me, part of it is money. Part of it is money, but number two, the other part is also being able to provide a product, or in this case, a product or some type of service to individuals and provided at a great value and cost for them as well. So it's a two-part. One, I'm stressed out and I need the time, and I need to make sure my family and my kids have everything they need. Well, that takes money, right? But at the
Hmm.
same time, I also want to provide value for whoever it is that I'm providing, whatever it is that I'm providing. So it's changed my life drastically. I mean, when you can, look at your bank account and know that monies are being deposited into your bank account, and this is a business bank account for that matter, but it's being deposited and you're not really doing much for it, well, that's a good day. And then the other thing is I get to send my kids to different schools that I probably otherwise wouldn't be able to. That's huge, right? I get to put my kids in tennis lessons. My kids love tennis. I get to put my little 5-year-old in golf lessons. So it has truly transformed my life. Not to mention, I get to give back, and not just in terms of servicing someone that live at one of the real estate properties we own, but I get to give back to organizations such as churches and different organizations that feed the hungry, right? Or the hunger, excuse me. But I get to give back to individuals. Like, I think my wife and I got involved with something called World Vision. World Vision is an awesome organization. And this is all due to the fact of not just being in business, but also part of the real estate journey we've been on. And we've been able to give families an opportunity to get started on their entrepreneurial journey because we have this passive type of income coming in based on real estate investment. So it's drastically, incredibly changed my life. And whereas I used to hustle and grind incredibly hard, not that I don't, I still do, but it's just smarter now, right?
Hmm.
But I don't have to do that as much anymore, right? I'm actually investing smart now and not working so hard as before. It still take work ethic. Still, you can't beat work ethic. You can't get away from it. You still have to work hard, but you can work smart. In real estate, investing is one of the ways you get to work smart and achieve the goals or dreams that you want to achieve. So it's drastically changed my life. As a matter of fact, I remember the book reading from Robert Kiyosaki, the 4 quadrants. And I remember him talking about the left side where you're an employee and you just, grind busting your butt, Oh, I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
I was grinding. And then to say, hey, I want to go from that side of the quadrant over to the other side, the investor side, where I can have the time freedom. I can, give to organization, give to churches. I've been able to give to churches. As a matter of fact, again, not to be boastful or anything like that, but my wife and I, due to our entrepreneurial journey, we've built a school in India, which is incredible. We've done that. We've built, helped expand in a local school here in Indianapolis, which was also incredible. And all that due to the fact that, we have real estate investment. We have another business entity that we also have, which is construction. So all of that is a part of our journey, so to speak.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, thanks you so much for sharing. I know that I've really enjoyed working with you, and you're exactly right. The more you have, if you can be a good steward with it, the more you can give back, the more you can help out your family, and then branch out beyond your own family too. I was actually just thinking about this the other day. Is that once you become into that investor quadrant, it's just different. Once someone said, your first like $1 million to get to a million, that'll be the hardest, first $1 million or whatever to get to. But once you have $1 million, the second one isn't as hard, because you have options and you can invest in different ways. And like you said, it's just, using those resources that you have now to smart invest. And real estate does that. I mean, it helps with passive income, with taxes, with all that. So just one last question, like, what do you see for your future? Real estate investing, what's a big goal you have?
100-unit apartment building. And
wow.
Yeah, that's a big fish. And I want to catch fish. I'm going to catch that fish. And yeah, absolutely. I'm
That's awesome.
like I heard Les Brown said many years ago, you got to be hungry. I'm hungry, Brad. So I'm hungry. I want it. And sometimes, you can want something for someone, but they don't want it for themselves. Well, that's not the case with me. I want it not only for myself, but I want it for my family. I want it for those that I can empower and encourage that it is possible. It is possible to live your dreams and all that great stuff. As a matter of fact, just back to the whole idea of what real estate has done for me. My mom was diagnosed with cancer some months ago, almost a year, actually over a year now. And I had the freedom to go and spend time with her as I needed to, which I'm telling you, real estate is incredible. Whereas at my day job, oh my God, I'm stuck at the computer, stuck at the desk, doing that type of work. So yes, I'm going for that 100-unit apartment building. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. That other, real estate investment opportunities out there. I'm not closed. I'm open to it. It's just a matter of evaluating the deal and making sure it makes sense for me. But that's my big goal for right now. I want to hit 100 units in one single deal.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully we can find that for you, and maybe we can do that one together. Sounds good. Well, well, thanks so much, Nick, for joining us today. This is Reflection Friday with Nick Lunn, and man, wish you all the success in the future with your construction business and your real estate career. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad, and thank you for having me on the call. And to all your listeners out there, hey, God bless, and keep working hard. So thank you again, Brad. You take care.
Thanks.